Self-publishing is changing. No more gatekeepers. No more barriers. No one standing between you and your readers. Do you want to make a living from your writing? Join indie bestseller Mark Dawson and James Blatch as they shine a light on the secrets of self-publishing success. This is the Self-Publishing Show. There's never been a better time to be a writer.
Hello and welcome. It is the Self-Publishing Show with me, James Blatch.
And me, Mark Dawson.
Welcome, Mark Dawson. Before we do anything else, we have a Patreon supporter to give a shout out to. Thank you very much indeed to our Patreon supporter. Who it is?
It's Shadowfall, which is probably, I'm guessing, the name of a book. I would guess, but so I don't know who the author is.
Or it could be their MI6 code name. Maybe they're operating behind enemy lines, and they don't want to be.
Who knows? But anyway, thank you very much to Mr. Shadow.
Can you tell I'm writing an espionage book at the moment?
Yes, I can.
I've been reading a lot about the increment.
Oh yes, that's quite interesting. I've done lots of study in the increment. Also, the Feathermen is worth looking at as well.
Feathermen, yeah, E Squadron, I think they're probably known as now. But the increment, apparently, the increment was like a really secret code word that no one knew until an MOD person leaked it in an email in 1991 or something. Can you imagine? You idiot. Anyway, yes, so if you don't know what we're talking about military wing of security services here in the UK. Because we don't have a CIA. MI6 all pen pushers, apparently. Although in reality, they're probably not. Enough of that. Although I am writing my book again, which I have to say, I had a long period this year where we had a crazy year where I wasn't writing. I'm writing every day again now, which I'm really enjoying. And after 20,000 words into my book, I finally got to a military aviation scene. And funnily enough, that scene flowed out of me like 1,200 words in 30 minutes, whereas the other scenes are finding a little bit more difficult. But that's a slight change in genre, so it's just slowed me up a bit.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying it.
You're in direct competition with me. Good luck.
Yes, well, mine's period history. I suppose is a little bit different. 1970.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I've got an espionage book set in actually in two. I've got one set behind the Berlin Wall, and I've got one set around the time of Chernobyl. So kind of.
Okay. That's
a
far off.
Bit earlier than me.
I'm very much enjoying, and it's feeding right into my research as well. We've got Mark Cameron coming onto the podcast soon. I'm going to be interviewing him in a couple of weeks, and he writes the Tom Clancy books now. So I'm reading the latest one of those, which I picked up in a bookshop somewhere abroad, actually, I think in the States. So it's doing very well, and I'm really enjoying that. Set in East and West Berlin, of course, as every good spy novel set in the mid-'80s was. And yeah, lots of little tidbits I'm gleaning from that, which might help me in my own book. And a couple of things.
He wrote them. He stopped. He's written his last one. He's passed the baton on to another author I'd heard of. I can't remember. He mentioned it on a panel. I was on a panel with him in Vegas, and he mentioned that he'd stopped after writing 6, I think, or 7.
Okay. So he's good. Yeah, I mean, he's really captured Tom Clancy. He's captured the very best of Tom Clancy, and also the little bits of Tom Clancy that irritated me a bit. He's got that as well, which is important because they probably just irritate me, but they are very much
guess. That's pages of information on what a weapon feels like, or
no, not that. I love all that stuff. No, it was more. He's such a perfect character, Jack Ryan, and his wife is so perfect, and their relationship is so perfect, and he's such a great dad, and that I found nauseating. You want your characters to be a bit flawed, but Clancy didn't really do that with Jack Ryan, and Mark Cameron's done that as well, but that is because he's writing as Tom Clancy and writing that style, and that's very clever to have captured all of that. And most people probably love that.
Yes,
all
absolutely.
American hero stuff. So anyway, so I've got that interview to come up, so I'm really looking forward to doing. What are you working on at the moment? What are you writing? Atticus?
I'm finishing Middleton 23 called Bloodlands. I'm kind of hoping I might get it done by the time I go away for Christmas next week, but that's not going to happen now. But which is fine. I usually get like a sticky couple of weeks where I've kind of got to about 65,000 words, and it's like, oh god, this is rubbish. And then I'm through that now. When that happens, I usually go back to the start and just kind of go over what I've done. And actually, I'm quite pleased with it now. So it's I'm up to about 77,000, so I think it's going to be about 100,000 when it's done. But I think it'll be done like January, and then I'll do Atticus 4, which has been fun actually. I might do. I'm kind of thinking I might do a couple of standalone podcasts over Christmas, and one I might do is just what I've done with Atticus in this area. So kind of a very local campaign, but still selling, I think, nearly 2,000 copies now in one Salisbury Wardstones, which makes it the biggest selling book they've had this year by quite a long way.
Wow.
Had an event last Thursday, which sold out, the fastest sellout they've ever had, in like 3 days. I'm going to do a big kind of local launch next year, but at a bigger venue. But it's just been really, it's fun, have people coming up and signing, and I'm actually going into the store for a couple of hours on Saturday morning to sit at a table and sell, because it's perfect for Christmas. Local book signed by the author.
Yes.
If I can't sell a couple of hundred in 2 hours, I'll be disappointed. So
Yeah.
that's
You're
yeah,
right.
it's not.
You're quite celeb. You're going to be asked to turn on the Christmas lights.
I'm getting. I think I mentioned before. I'm actually now getting recognised in Salisbury, which is really quite funny.
Putting Salisbury on the map. Why would I want to do that?
Yeah, exactly. So no, it's but that's with kind of very local Facebook advertising, which you obviously you
Yeah.
can do, and I think there is something there for authors who maybe aren't making a big success of it nationwide, but kind of start smaller,
Mm.
and then kind of start with a local area, and then kind of extend the boundary again, and build word of mouth, and you can do that with very closely targeted ads. So I might do something on that. I think it'd be quite an interesting one.
Mm.
It's
That's
also
interesting.
fun.
Well,
It
maybe I
is,
should.
it's not making me. Yeah, you could set something in kind of Huntingdon, or
Well,
like a.
I could sell them down your way. I could compete with you because Boscombe Down is kind of the
You
centre of my
could.
first novel.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And you
But
must have a lot of ex-RAF people living around there.
it's mostly
Mainly
military.
army, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm sure there are lots of pilots and things. But yeah, it's fun. Kind of it is actually. I mean, it's not going to make me a huge amount of money. But it is a lot of fun to go into Waterstones, and all the staff are like, "Hey, Mark, how you doing?" And
Yeah.
we've ordered another 300 copies. Will you sign them? And it is actually quite nice to be able to do that, and see, the local Facebook groups. Every town has them, I think. Kind of what's on in Huntingdon, what's on in Salisbury, with 5,000 6,000 people in there, and so I've posted in there before and get like 400 500 comments from locals. So it's been really fun. So quite enjoying that.
Good. Always like to hear success stories, even if they're here in house. But I got a note last night from Cara Thorburn, who's one of our Cambridge authors, and she's in the charts ahead of both Zodiac Academy and Sarah J. Maas at the moment in her dark
Wow.
romance series. So really kudos to her. She's done really well and is doing really well. Good, yes, but it is a struggle. I had a really good start to the year in sales, made £1,000 profit in an early month, and since then it's been more difficult. Focused in the middle of the year on building my list, which went really well, but obviously it's just quite expensive at this point without books to then leverage the list with. But I was signing, good sort of 500 names a month and a reasonable cost. Switched back to sales for ads and made a small profit last month, which is probably where a lot of people are when they've got 2 or 3 books, 2.5 books in my
Mm.
case.
Yeah.
It is hard at this beginning stage. So if you're listening to the podcast and you're fed up with hearing how successful everyone else is,
Yeah, absolutely.
it takes work, and it takes products, basically books on the shelf, and keep getting stuff right in the way that you're working and operating, which is what this show is all about. And in actual fact, today's interview is going to be about a new, exciting, well, not new, exciting, but an area that's always been around, direct selling, but is certainly on everyone's lips at the moment as an area for exploiting for us. But before we get there, Mark, should we just give the foundation another shout out? Because we are getting to the stage where we're going to close applications to the SPF Foundation soon.
Yeah. So just a very, very quick recap. We and some very kind sponsors, I won't mention them all now, they're all on the website, provide some money, and also access to our two main courses, to a number of successful applicants who meet the criteria and are selected, or picked to take part in the foundation. And it gives people a chance who might not otherwise have the means to be able to take their books and get them packaged correctly or advertised, or it just basically gives people a little bit of a shove. And hopefully that is the kind of early momentum that they need, which then builds and take them from maybe not selling very many books to selling what we think those books deserve to sell. Yeah, we've had half a dozen authors who've been through the foundation, and we've done this for 5-6 years now. So maybe 30 or 40 authors have done it, but a good half dozen of those are now making significant amounts of money. In some cases, kind of really significant amounts of money. And I think without the push, they may have got there, but it would have been more difficult, and it might have taken them longer. So we we're looking for applicants now, and the choosing process will start probably around about Christmas time. So if you want to find out more about that, you go to the website selfpublishingformula.com, and I think on the top right of the drop down menu there is a tab called Foundation. So if you click that, all the details you'll need will be there. So fill in the application form, it will come to us, and if you're picked, we'll be in touch early next year to let you know.
Good. And one other thing just to tease ahead is we have 2 standalone courses being released soon. One is AI marketing for authors, which is, I think I've had the most fun putting a course together in a long time, particularly the image work, which I do. Mark does a lot of the tech stuff. So that course on how to leverage AI, how to use it properly for authors, and all the things you can do now, hand by hand, step-by-step instructions on how to actually do it. That is coming out in the next few weeks. And then probably after Christmas in January, we will release how to make money with translations. And that's been done by a guest lecturer in Bella Andre, who's a very successful romance writer in her own right, and has also done super well with translations and has a system and methodology to follow. So that is going to come in January. We'll give you more information as we get closer to the release of both of those courses. Okay, now direct selling. So this is something that's really come to the fore. In fact, along with AI, they have been the two big discussion topics at all the conferences that we've been to this year. And there's one company that's got itself very cleverly at the center of the direct selling boom. It is based not far from here. I visited the factory about 20 miles away from where I'm sitting here in Peterborough in the UK. It's called Bookvault, but they have partners in the US as well. And when anyone talks about direct selling, they talk about Bookvault because it's setting itself up as a company to be positioned perfectly for indie authors to make the most of direct selling, special editions, and all those good things. And in fact, if you listen to the Creative Pen podcast as well, you'll know Jo is a big fan of Bookvault. In fact, if you go to the factory, her books are very prominent around the place. So let's hear from Alex Smith, the horse's mouth at Bookvault, and then Mark and I will be back for a quick chat at the end of the podcast.
This is the Self-Publishing Show. There's never been a better time to be a writer.
Alex Smith from Bookvault, welcome to the Self-Publishing Show. It's good to chat. We've seen each other around the world, haven't we?
Yeah. Just recently, Nink was nice and hot, which was nice.
And London and Peterborough. Now, people may not know where Peterborough is, but I know where it is because it's about 15 miles away from me, which is sort of coincident. But that's where Bookvault is based, and you are there are 2 big talking points at the moment. One is AI, but the other one is direct selling. And your name, Bookvault's name, is in every other conversation about direct selling. So you better introduce yourself to us.
Yeah, so my name's Alex. I'm the technical lead here at Bookvault. So Bookvault is a kind of print-on-demand platform built by a company called Print On Demand Worldwide. So we're a company that have been in the printing scene, digital print, for around 30 years now. So the past we printed for traditional publishers in the UK, such as kind of Taylor and Francis, Bloomsbury Publishing, and people like that. And it wasn't until around 2 to 3 years ago that we opened up our platform that was originally kind of cordoned off the publishers to the indie market and authors around the world. So it kind of enables people to, I guess, get access to the publisher grade features, but as an indie author and kind of an individual as well. We have our own print facility as well in the UK. So made a large amount of investment over the last couple of years, kind of really automating that and kind of dialing it down to a T. And then we also work with partner facilities around the world as well. So we've got a partner facility in the US, and then we're also launching one in the coming weeks in India as well. So we're kind of really building that print network around the world to kind of enable one platform to print globally.
Yeah, and what I really love about this situation is that you say it's 30 years. So for 30 years you've been printing in the kind of traditional space, but I really feel that you've recognised the growth potential of the indie market and are pivoting your business towards them.
Oh, without a doubt, I think we kind of see it as a bit of the future. To be fair, I think it's the way that people are going. If they can earn more money and it's all these simple platforms enable them to, it's the way they're going to go. I mean, I've seen people that kind of hybrid publish and always bring in more through indie. So it does seem like the way to go. And I think it was we attended the self-publishing show a couple of years ago, and that's where it kind of really opened our eyes up that, yeah, this is the market we want to be in. I mean, as well, everyone's just so much nicer. Everyone wants to sell their books, and they've got a passion to sell their books as well, which is like what we want to see. We want to help people on their journey and see them come from having their first book to tens of thousands of pounds coming in each month. So that's kind of the route that we want to take.
Well, you're a great addition to the community. It's great to have you around and the company there, and it's exciting what people are doing. I had Joe Penn on the podcast last week. I interviewed Joe Penn last week. Not sure when it's going out. Probably going out before this interview. And she held up very proudly her book, the Shadows book, and a gold braided one, which looked amazing. And that's all done through you guys.
Yeah, so that's something we're really trying to, I guess, break the mold of POD. So I guess quite a lot of the publishers, we call it the dirty work. They always used to give us the work that no one else wants to do, and it would always be that we would do it. So that's something we've kind of dialed down in our productivity a lot. We kind of have built a lot of workflows and processes to do what other printers find a bit difficult, automated and in a production environment that we can get them out in quite quickly as well. So that's why we're trying all these new innovative things, such as you say, the printing of foil, box sets, ribbons, and all those exciting things to try and enable people to effectively sell their products for a higher price and earn more. Because I think that's the whole thing, especially when you talk about direct sale, and it's all about upsales. So if you can sell your book for £10 on Amazon as a standard product, but then you can sell it on your own website with a foil cover and a ribbon for an extra £15, that's always going to be great.
Yeah, and that is definitely something people are thinking about, particularly those authors who have big established audiences and a decent sized mailing list. You'll always be perhaps blown away by the fact that people are prepared to pay £25-30 for a special edition of one of your books, and that's where this whole system works.
Yeah, certainly. I think it's all about targeting those super fans that are really kind of, they invest in you as well as the stories. So they're much happier to maybe wait a bit longer for their books, but get their books and have a really nice thing that they can put on their shelf and kind of promote for you. So yeah, really nice.
Yeah, so that's the kind of one-off special editions. People might use that for Kickstarters. I think that's what Jo did with her book and so on. But actually, the stock in trade probably for most of us is going to be setting up a sort of Shopify, just selling our own books. Either, I guess, stuffing envelopes on our kitchen table, but you also do the whole thing, right? You do the fulfillment.
Yeah, so we have a range of apps now. We're kind of adding them as quick as we can. So the big one for us is Shopify. That's obviously the one that seems to be taking the indie market by storm. But we also work with WordPress, with WooCommerce as well. Just recently launched Wix as well, which is a big one for us. I think we're the first in the printing space to do that, as well as Zapier. So that enables you to link up multiple apps together. So those kind of platforms all tie into Bookvault. So effectively, you would install the Bookvault app onto your chosen website. We would then kind of pick up the products that you want to sell. We then provide the customer at the point of buying the book the up-to-date shipping price so that you get charged what they get charged. So there's no kind of manually putting 10,000 rates in, etc. I think with the Shopify store, we manually upload 42,000 shipping prices. So that would obviously take you a long time to do. So it kind of all flows through Bookvault. So as soon as the customer places the order, it comes straight to Bookvault. We print and send it directly to the customer, whether that be kind of locally in the US from our US facility, in the UK, or globally.
Yeah, that's amazing. So in the UK, it's your factory, and I've been there. We had a tour of the factory and saw the amazing printing machines. But in the US, you use a partner facility, but is that transparent to us if I set up a Shopify for US customers as well? Just feel the same to me?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when you set up your store, it would literally say Bookvault UK and Bookvault US, and you can choose only to ship from Bookvault UK or to choose Bookvault US. It's kind of completely up to you. So, and they would ship out of Ohio. So we've got a working agreement with Baker and Taylor in the US. So they're who are printing it for us. So we're kind of going off the mold and not using Ingram, but I think that's what quite a few of our customers like as well. Because I have to admit, we went through loads of printers, but their quality was really great. So that's why we chose them.
Great. That's good that you've got a partner. And I can see you potentially expanding yourself at some point into the States.
Without a doubt, yeah. I think especially attending more and more US conferences, it's making me really want to. I mean, certainly with the weather in Florida, I think if I want to set up a factory in Florida, I'll happily move out there. That'd be great.
Yeah. Now, just to get into a bit more detail about how this works, because some people, including me to an extent, because I don't have a lot of time to look at the technical side of it, don't fully appreciate what you mean when you say you have an app on Wix or on WordPress and so on. What are we actually talking about here?
So effectively, on the if you take Shopify as an example, there's the Shopify App Store, so you can get all your different apps. So you can get a email app, a pop-up app, and all stuff like that. So all you do is search in the App Store for Bookvault. It comes up, you install the app, log into your account, and it kind of talks you all through there. And we've got a really great knowledge base on our website that kind of talks you through the stages of how to do everything. And equally, we've got a great support team as well. So if you do struggle, you can reach out to us and we can arrange a Zoom call, etc., to go through things.
Yeah, so basically you build your website, you drop in these apps, as you call them, onto a panel, and then in the background, you get it on your app, you load your products. Where do you do that?
Yeah, so on the Bookvault portal, you can add all your titles. So you can, if you have your own ISBN, upload your own ISBN. Or equally, if it's just to sell direct, we can provide you with a fake ISBN because they're not going out to retailers. You don't need a kind of registered ISBN. So we can provide you a fake one. And then effectively, once you've uploaded them and uploaded the files to the Bookvault platform, we'll then kind of link them up to the store and print and dispatch them for you.
Okay. And how is the take-up of these products? I mean, they're pretty early days, aren't they? I think Wix was only a few weeks ago.
Yeah, Wix is kind of an early one. We haven't shouted about it yet. We normally like to leave it. This is the first time we've kind of, I guess, globally released it. We're working with Stuart from Digital Authors Toolkit. So he's absolutely fantastic. And yeah, he's certainly the one to go to if you want to set up a Wix website. He's been kind of testing it as well, giving us a bit of feedback because that's what we always, I guess as a developer, I kind of know how I want it to work. But equally, we get a lot of feedback and we work on that quite closely. So yeah, the Shopify one's been a massive intake. I think last month we had our biggest kind of install. I think just shy of 350 people installing it in a month, which again is a massive uptake of authors really pushing for direct sales. And we're only seeing that kind of increase more and more. So it's exciting.
Yeah, well, hopefully I'll be able to give you feedback soon because Stuart Grant does look after my website, which is on Wix, and we do have direct selling. And I use an awful clunky PayHip system at the moment, which looks horrible. So I'm very much looking forward to it. And also I do autographed editions, which I will, for the time being at least, will have to do at home. I can't see a way around that unless I take it up. Presumably, is it possible I could bring a box up to you at some point in Peterborough?
Yeah, we don't normally do stocking, but something we are looking at is potentially sending out pre-printed covers that people can sign the inside of the cover, and then we then bind the cover to the text block. Right. So that's something we're investigating, or whether it be kind of book stickers that you stick in with a signed plate, etc. So it's something that we are looking at. I guess our facilities very much say no to stock. So we're very much literally a book comes off the end of the production line and goes out the next door kind of within a couple of hours. So, but it is certainly, we've had a lot of feedback for it. I know we last year did the Kickstarter with Joanna Penn. She came in and signed, I think it was 700 books in a morning. I think, Carpenter's Tunnel there with her hand. But it was good. So it is something we're open to and looking at.
Yeah, you'd very quickly fill up your premises, wouldn't you? You'd have to get one of those disused farming warehouses in the fens to fill up with books if you did stock.
Luckily, there's quite a lot around here. So.
Yeah, that is true. So basically this is for the ideal scenario is your shop selling your versions of your books, not going through Amazon or any of the other retailers, doing it direct. And just tell us again about the fees side of things. So how does that work?
Yeah, so as a platform, we introduced an upload fee. So we didn't initially start with one, but after about a month of launching, we had someone upload 20,000 books, all with different pictures of kittens on. I don't know how they did it because there wasn't even an automated version. They must have paid some labour somewhere to quickly upload them all, but in a space of a month, completely flooded our system. So we had to introduce an upload fee. So the upload fee is £19.95 or $24.95 per title. And that's a one-off fee, and you don't have to pay to change the specifications or the files. It's literally just that one-off. I call it a barrier to entry, but it's not. It's like a barrier there to stop people mass uploading.
Yes.
But there's a couple of ways around that. So we work with a lot of organisations, be it Novelists Incorporated. We work with Alliance of Independent Authors as well as a big one for us. So All members of them get unlimited uploads. So there's a free code to upload as many titles as you want. So that's kind of free there. We also have plans as well. So we've got Bookvault Pro, which is probably the one that majority of people use, and you pay £89.95 a month, and then you get unlimited uploads. And that's done on a month-by-month basis as well. So you could literally go to Bookvault Pro, upload all your titles in a month, and then drop straight back down to the free plan as well. So that's kind of a way of uploading all your titles at once.
Yeah.
That's that.
I think you're going to extend that offer to SPF listeners to the show?
Yes, without a doubt, yes. Okay. So, certainly sort that out.
Yeah, okay. So if we'll sort that out. So you'll get a code for, is that unlimited free uploads of your titles?
For the podcast, it's free uploads, and then we can sort out other codes in the future as well. I think certainly. Okay,
so free uploads, and if you go to selfpublishingformula.com/bookvault, will be the URL, and you can grab your code from there. So absolutely be part of that. As you say, those bad actors. I mean, goodness knows what was going on with the kittens, but I think
I like kittens, but not 20,000 of them.
Yeah, and I think if you're in an online organisation, this is what Amazon deal with every day, isn't it? They end up with people trying to game the system with their low content stuff.
That's the thing. I mean, we will happily accept low content. It's just that it's got to be low content that you're prepared to sell, because, as I say, people will upload loads of low content, and it's kind of one of those get rich quick schemes on Amazon where you can upload 20,000 books and they'll make $10,000 a month, etc., with no marketing or anything like that. So that's kind of, we don't want those people, but we do want the low content people that really do put effort in to try and sell.
Yeah. Good, and it's a fascinating physical world to see, and that the machines get bigger and more efficient, and that must have changed a lot in your time, because the ability of you to scale up is built in, I think, to the investment you've made recently in equipment.
Yeah. I mean, I've been with the company 7 years now, and even in the 7 years, I've seen us go through 3 large printers and kind of evolving to there. But I mean, when we first started, it was kind of not to the extent of the press at home with a little digital printer, but kind of only 2 or 3 meters long digital press that was churning out sheets of paper. But now we're using an inkjet. We're able to print color books onto coated stocks. And a big thing for us with the technology we've done is we can charge per color page as well. So that's a massive advantage. So effectively, if you had a 100-page book with only 2 pages of color, we'll only charge you for those 2 pages of color. And that's really good for special editions, because you can put, say, a splash page at the front of the book or chapter headings, and it doesn't become a full color book and really expensive.
Wow, that's great. Like those old beautiful Enid Blyton books where they had a color plate on the inside of the cover, and the rest of the illustrations were black and white, which I guess was quite common in the old days.
Yeah. So we do that. That's worked really well for us. And as you say, I think when you saw, we no longer print in sheets of paper. It's all on like a massive. I say it's a massive toilet roll with about 10 kilometers of paper on it, and that flies through our printer really quickly. So it's a changed world.
I'll try and upload some of the video to go with this podcast interview. But we went and visited. I mean, that machine, it turns a corner. It goes like 90 degrees.
Yes.
Middle. And then there's this very clever bit in the middle, very large sort of glass case, which is a buffer zone. If one part of the machine's going faster than the other part, it sort of buffers up for a little bit and then starts, I guess makes sense. So it doesn't have to stop, but it's an incredible thing to see.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, at the end of the line, when it pushes the paper out, it has to stop the line, so the printer keeps on printing, so it doesn't stop. And it's a really efficient thing. So, I think we print about, I can't remember what, 150 meters per minute through our printers, and
wow.
Each sheet of paper has kind of 6 pages in a row. So it's quite a quick and efficient piece of kit.
Yeah, and cheap, I'd imagine.
It's made print a lot more affordable. I mean, as a price point, we sit kind of slightly above Amazon KDP, but then we sit on par or below Ingram, so we fit quite nicely there. And I mean, the whole point of us not sitting with KDP's prices is because if we did, we'd have to drop our quality, and we don't want to do that. That's kind of our big thing, is that we want to produce beautiful books, and that's kind of where we want to sit there.
And is it POD is what you do? What if an author wanted 20,000 of their books? Would they be better off going to Clay or some one of the big industrial printers?
I think normally it's certainly something we could look at. We have volume discounts. So up until 1,000 books, we kind of drop the percentage. I think 1,000 books, we give a 10% discount, and we can go further. It's all a point of if you've got that large run, speak to our team because we can certainly look at that. We have done 20,000 book runs in the past, so it's certainly something we can do. Definitely.
Great. Okay, so where can people find you and how can they get going with Bookvault?
Yeah, so it's all on our website. We've got a really easy quoting calculator as well, so you can get a quote before you even start with Bookvault. And that's all on our website as bookvault.app. So you can find all about there. You can create an account on there, and you can, completely view the whole process before you create an account. We don't want you to be tied in as soon as you sign up. So the best place to go is on our website.
Great. Are you seeing an increase in, it feels like there's an increase in authors going direct. You must be feeling that at the front end.
Yeah, certainly. It's crazy. We were looking back. Obviously, when we were dealing with publishers, we're getting 6 or 7 new customers a month because obviously it'd be large scale publishers. But yeah, I think last month was our record. An insane amount. We've absolutely destroyed that target. So it's really good. I think we hit it at the right time with direct sales because it really is a push. Nink was all about it. All the other conferences we've been to have been all about direct sales, and I think people are starting to see that. If they take control of their own journey, it's a lot better than relying on the big likes of Amazon and stuff like that for your sales. If you pair it with BookFunnel as well for direct sales, you've got a really strong tool there. Yeah,
and you can even do audiobooks through BookFunnel and have the whole gamut available to people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, very exciting what you've done. Thanks for hosting us at Peterborough the other week. It was great to see the machines in action. I'm a bit of a geek about machines anyway. Normally flying machines, but I was impressed with your printer.
Yeah, no, I have to admit, even I still love going down there. Certainly the trimmer at the end, that's always mesmerising. Yeah.
And actually, the one thing that surprised me, my takeaway from visiting a factory, is still quite a lot of hands-on manual stuff. And I guess gradually a lot of that will become automated. But at the moment, if you want your gold leaf and stuff done, there's probably someone sitting in a corner doing it.
Yeah, there is certainly for those, as I say, that dirty work, the special editions and stuff like that. It's what someone sits there and does. And that's why you do pay a little bit more. But I think it's all about the core products. If you can automate the core products, as I say, a paperback, there's 2 touch points, and that's one scanning them out and one moving them from one production conveyor to the other. So there is, it's all about kind of automating it as much as possible, certainly with the bespoke stuff, because there's so much variation and people want so much kind of different things. It kind of gets a bit hard to automate it because people say we'd have to change the machine every minute. I think what we're looking at with certain things like sprayed edges, that's a machine we're looking at the moment where it would print on the kind of white page of the book, and that looks really nice, and there's a nice automated machine we're looking at for that. So it's certainly in time, there'll be less touch points.
Brilliant, Alex. And just a reminder, if people want that code for free uploads, it's selfpublishingformula.com/bookvault. We'll put some information in there about the rest of the company as well. So brilliant. Alex, thanks very much indeed. Good to see you on the beach in Florida. Hope you had a good time.
Thanks, Alex.
I did notice the two of you looking a little bit slower one morning than other mornings.
I don't know if you noticed both of us. I think one of us was missing. So I was certainly there for coffee in the morning.
There was a man down, wasn't there, at one point?
I'm not commenting.
Yeah. But anyway, so it's Las Vegas next, and nothing like that happens there, of course. So
no, of course not.
We'll see you in the desert next month. But yeah, thanks very much indeed, Alex, for joining us.
Thanks for having us on. Thank you very much.
This is the Self-Publishing Show. There's never been a better time to be a writer.
There you go. That's Alex Smith from Bookvault. I think I mentioned I went to the factory a while back. It's all brilliant to see that huge ream of paper being turned into paperbacks. It's all very clever the way that works. And the cleverest bit, I think I mentioned this before, was it turns 90 degrees, this machine. It's so long around the factory. In the middle bit, it has a buffer because one part of the machinery might go at a slightly different speed from the other part, and obviously the paper will just rip. So they have this huge area where you just see the paper building up, and then stretching out. It's all very clever and gripping to see. But that's print on demand. That's book by book being printed in an automated system.
Gripping.
Gripping.
Gripping. I don't think you mean it. Gripping? Like, oh my God, this is thrilling. I'm saying this says more about you than anything else, I think.
Well, it's like staring at a fire. It's compelling.
Compelling, yes, I suppose so.
I don't know
Intriguing.
If that's the right word. Fascinating. Yeah, right. I'll get my thesaurus.
The author.
Yes, indeed. Well, I am also an author.
You are, yeah.
Okay, all right. Look, that's it. Thank you very much indeed to Alex Smith. Big yawn. It's cold and wintry here. I'm struggling to wake up every morning. It's damp weather. I want those blue sky days again we had last week. They may come back. Still, I'll be in the snow soon, and you're going to be in the sun. You're going away somewhere.
I'm going to the
Sunny.
Maldives next Saturday to record this. Yeah,
Wow.
so
You're
there's
going to be in one of those little
20
houses on stilts in the Indian Ocean.
It is, yeah, 29 degrees at the moment. So, yeah, looking forward to that.
Oh, that would be amazing. Well, it'll
Busy,
be
busy
my-
couple of days, couple of
might be-
weeks to get things ready.
minus 29 where I'm going, but
Yeah, that's what you want.
yeah, it is indeed. Okay, thank you very much indeed to everyone, particularly the team behind this podcast. Do get it out to you. All that remains for me to say is there's a goodbye from him.
And a goodbye from me.
Goodbye.
Get show notes, the podcast archive, and free resources to boost your writing career at selfpublishingshow.com. Join our thriving Facebook group at selfpublishingshow.com/Facebook. Support the show at patreon.com/selfpublishingshow. And join us next week for more help and inspiration so that you can make your mark as a successful indie author. Publishing is changing, so get your words into the world and join the revolution with the Self-Publishing Show.